Hello students, today we are going to go through some questions from exercise 3.5. This can be found on page 96 of your Discovering Mathematics textbook. Okay, so now we shall begin with question 1F. If you notice, I've already taken the liberty to highlight this portion here. So for each of the questions that we're going through today, the highlighted variable is the one that we want to make the subject of. So in this case, for this question 1F, I want n to be the subject of the formula. So let's begin. So first and foremost, if you notice for this question, n is on the right hand side of the equation. There is no n on the left hand side. So if I've spoken about this before in class, we can actually just do the flip first. So if we flip the entire question around, or the entire equation, so k times 3 plus 4n is equals to e. The purpose of doing this is so that n will appear on the left hand side, which is our aim eventually. Next, what we do here is this: we can divide both sides of the equation by k. So when I divide both sides of the equation by k, what I get is 3m plus 4n equals to e over k. Now, if you notice on the left hand side, what I have is 3m plus 4n. I want n to be the subject of the formula. Hence, what I need to do is to minus 3m on the left hand side and minus 3m on the right hand side to balance the equation. So what I get is 4n is equals to e over k minus 3m. For the final step, if you notice, I just need to divide both sides of the equation by 4 so that n becomes the subject of the formula. So if I divide by 4, divide by 4, and divide by 4 here, what I'm going to get is n equals to e over 4k minus 3m over 4. And if you notice, I've made n the subject of the formula. The next question I'm going to cover is 2b. Be very careful here. Some of you may be tempted to do this. You may actually say this. You say 1 over u plus 1 over v is equals to 1 over f. And you just say that, why don't we take the reciprocal of everything? So u plus v equals to f. Okay, be careful. This is very, very, very wrong. Okay, so please do not try this. Okay, this will actually give you a wrong result. If you do not believe whether this is true or not, if you see half plus 1/3, if you use your calculator, half plus 1/3 would actually give you 5 over 6. But is it true that 2 over 1 plus 3 over 1 is equal to 6 over 5? If you notice, right, in this case, what you get here is 5 is equals to 1.2. This is erroneous. Hence, right, you are not able to just take the reciprocal down here. So be very careful of this. So what we need to do for this question is this. In order for us to take the reciprocal, what I need to do is to combine the fractions before I can take the reciprocal. So now, if I have 1 over v, which is the subject of the formula, or I want to make v the subject of the formula, first I say 1 over v equals to 1 over f minus 1 over u. Okay, what I can do in here is this: 1 over v. Alright, if you remember, how can we combine these two fractions? For this f, I can multiply by u to make the denominator uf. For this fraction, I can multiply by f over f to make it f over uf. So if I just combine the two fractions, what I'll get is u minus f over uf. Notice that only when the left hand side has a single fraction by itself and when the right hand side has a single fraction by itself, then you can take the reciprocal, which means you can flip top to bottom, bottom to top. So in this case, if I take the reciprocal, I'll get v is equals to uf over u minus f. And I have successfully made v the subject of the formula because v is by itself on the left hand side. Next example is over here. Okay, For 2c, there are different ways to do this, but let's just try out one of these ways. So first and foremost, I'm going to do the same thing I did with the first question. Since the variable r is on the right hand side and there's no r on the left hand side, I can do the flip. So if I flip the entire equation around, I get p over p times 1 plus rt over 100 equals to I. Okay, there are two ways to proceed for this question. One of the ways is for me to actually divide by p on both sides of the equation to get rid of p down here. That's one way. Let's explore another way just to show you that there are many different methods to actually make r the subject of the formula. So one of the methods I want to try to do now is this. Instead of dividing both sides of the equation by p, I will instead choose to expand the brackets to see how that actually works out. So if I expand the brackets, what I get is p, I get p plus p times r times t over 100 equals to I. Next thing is this, you notice that I should be getting rid of this variable p on the left hand side. So I will get prt over 100 equals to I minus p. Next, what I'll attempt to do is to multiply both sides by 100, okay, so that the 100 will be eliminated from the denominator. Be careful here, when you multiply by 100 on both sides of the equation, don't forget to put a pair of brackets here. So my next step will give me prt equals to 100 multiplied to I minus p. Lastly, in order for me to make r the subject of the formula, what I need to do is to divide by pt. Why pt? So that p will eliminate, t will eliminate. So if I divide by pt on the left hand side, I'll need to divide by pt on the right hand side, which means that for my final equation, I get r equals to 100 times I minus p over pt. And if you notice down here, once again, r is the subject of the formula. Okay, I'm going to move on to 2e now. 2e is to make x a subject of the formula. This one actually is quite a simple question. First and foremost, again, if you notice, the right hand side contains x, the left hand side has no x, so I can always do the flip first. So I say square root of 4 plus x is equals to y. If you remember from our Sec 1 algebra, how do we actually remove the square root sign? We can square both sides of the equation. So I'll get this. So therefore, when I square both sides of the equation, I will get 4 plus x is equals to y squared. So now in order for x to become the subject of the formula, I'll get x equals to y squared minus 4. And in this case, I have quite easily achieved x to be the subject of the formula. And here's the final example for today. Once again, I'm going to employ the same trick I've been using for quite a few of the questions. There is the variable u on the right hand side. There is no variable u on the left hand side. So what I can do is, first I will do the flip. So I say that v squared minus u squared over 2a is equals to s. So next thing, I would like to remove 2a from the denominator. Hence, I'll multiply by 2a on the right hand side and multiply by I multiply by 2a on the left hand side, so that 2a is eliminated. Then I will multiply the 2a on the right hand side as well. Hence, what I'll get is v squared minus u squared is equals to 2 times a times s. Then next thing, we should try to make u the subject of the formula. Hence, I will deal with v squared. So if I were to deal with v squared, what I have is negative u squared equals to 2as minus v squared. Okay, if you notice, there is a negative symbol in front of u squared. That's a bit troublesome. So in order for me to get rid of the negative symbol, what I can actually do is to multiply by negative 1 on the right hand side, and I multiply by I multiply by negative 1 on the left hand side and multiply by negative 1 on the right hand side. So what I'll get here is u squared equals to v squared minus 2as. Finally, in order for me to be rid of this square over here, we can square root both sides of the equation. So what I'll get here is u equals to square root of v squared minus 2as. Be very careful here though. When you square root, right, do not forget that you can actually get a positive root or a negative root. So hence, when you square root both sides of the equation, it is absolutely essential that this plus minus symbol must appear in front of the square root symbol. And we have come to the end of the video segment of today's lesson. So please refer to Google Classroom and look out for the assignment in Class Kick and complete your assignment.